How do party organizations influence candidates running for public office? Oh, let me count the ways. If that's your question, you're in the right place. Stay with me because I got a lot to share. What we're going to talk about in this video is, number one, how party organizations influence candidates running for office, the A, the B, and the C. And then we're going to talk about what you do if you're not the favorite of a political party organization. Number one, they vet, they screen, they endorse. That's what political party organizations do. And I'm going to explain that with a quick story. I once did a congressional campaign in a 4-county district for a first-time candidate. In that 4-county area, there were 4 political party chairpersons. In each county, there were several town organizations, all of which had a political party infrastructure. 4 counties in a total of 35 towns. And as I began to help her put together her campaign, I took her to meet every single one of the 4 county chairs. And then we systematically started going to every town in every county, and they would listen to her talk in front of a small group of people. They would ask her questions, sometimes difficult questions, and the purpose of their question was to make sure that she was more or less aligned with that party's values and their agenda. That's how they influence political candidates, because if you're out of sync with that, you don't get any help and you don't get any endorsements. So that is item number one. That is how they do it. They vet, they screen, they endorse. Second way they influence candidates is they can help you get on the ballot. Now, why is that a complicated task? Because in some jurisdictions, it is really hard to get on the ballot. In some jurisdictions, it's also very expensive. In the state where I live, New York, candidates for Congress have to gather more than 2,500 signatures on a petition. But that's not all. Only certain people are allowed to carry them. Only certain people are allowed to sign them. All have to be certified. And there is only one right way to submit your petitions to the Board of Elections. If you get any of that wrong, you don't get on the ballot. The party organizations usually help their candidates gather those signatures. In a different state, if you want to run for Congress, you have to pay a $30,000 fee to get on the ballot. Well, a lot of first-time candidates need help raising that kind of money just to get on the ballot. So the party organizations connect them with people capable of writing checks that help them get on the ballot. Now, those are 2 extremes, but every state has its rules about how candidates get on the ballot. Party organizations often help political candidates comply with those rules. The third way, I mentioned that party organizations sometimes connect candidates to people who have money, who in turn contribute to their campaigns. But there are other ways. Candidates sometimes need manpower for lit drops in certain neighborhoods. Candidates sometimes need a bunch of people to show up at a press conference or a rally. Candidates need help getting their yard signs in the proper locations during the last couple of months of a political campaign. So political parties also influence political candidates by the manpower help they can provide. Now, if you have other questions about this process, like where to find the rules and who the controlling legal authorities are, there are lots of other videos on my YouTube channel. Secondly, I mentioned this in a book that is free to you. It's called 12 Essential Steps to Prepare for a Political Campaign. I highlight this matter in that, and I tell you where to find the rules. Download it. The link is in the description below. What happens when you are running for office and you have certain issue positions and priorities and values that are not in sync with your party. You don't pack your bags and go home. Just as an aside, I have enjoyed nothing more in my career than running over and through political party organizations that didn't want to support my candidate, so I know a little bit about how to do that. So I'm going to start this with an example of someone whose name was Jason. He wanted to run for an office in Florida. Party leaders wouldn't even return his phone calls. They wouldn't let him in the door. He got nowhere, and after 2 weeks of trying, he called me and said, Jay, I'm not going to get anywhere. I'm running against an incumbent. They all like her. They want nothing to do with me. What's plan B? I said, Jason, we're going to record a video. We are going to put that video on Facebook. We're going to put that video on Instagram. I'm going to find a list of voters in your jurisdiction who habitually vote each and every primary, and we're going to go communicate directly with the rank and file. We ran that video for about 2 months, and then one day Jason got a call. It was from the chairman of the party. He said, Jason, we need to talk. And Jason said, you didn't return my call 2 months ago. Why do you want to talk now? And the chairman said, well, Jason, things have changed. We just think we need to have a chat. In other words, Jason ran through the party by building a broad grassroots support of rank and file primary voters, and he bent them to his will. That is one of the ways that you can run over an intransigent political party apparatus that does not want to help you. I'm not blowing smoke at you. Let me give you a few examples of insurgents that roiled politics in their own party. One of them is the President of the United States at this moment, Donald Trump. Out of 50 state Republican chairs, there may have been 1 or 2 who were supportive of him when he began his campaign for the presidency. That meant 48 others were either with other candidates or didn't want him. How did Donald Trump run over the party apparatus and bend the Republican Party to his will? He went directly to rank and file voters with a populist message aimed at the elites who were not governing the country the way rank and file voters thought, and that is how he won a Republican nomination for president. Bernie Sanders in the Democrat Party tried to do the same thing, and although he did roil it, the Democratic Party apparatus was a little too strong for Bernie to overcome it. But Bernie started a movement that is still alive today, challenging the status quo. You want some other examples in recent times. A 35-year-old young man is about to become mayor of New York City, who completely roiled and walked through the entire Democrat Party apparatus in New York City by taking his case directly to voters. He's the second one who's done that. The first one in New York who did that was Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, who did it her way in a congressional race in 2018. These are just a few examples of people who have taken on a party structure, emerged victorious, and remolded the parties in their own vision, in their own way. How does that apply to you? I'm just saying to you, it's been done before, and you can do it too. If you'd like to know more about this subject, or if you plan to run for office soon, there's a video in the link below, how to use social media for political campaigns. It's on topic. Grab a pencil, watch that video because it supplements some of what I told you in this video.